Everybody's seen a fluke.
This is my history of this lore. My friend Kenny Bumgarner. I get a boat. He's driving the truck to the ramp. I meet him at H. But I'm waiting for him at H. I tie a fluke on and go back into that real shallow area at H. And soon as I go, there's an old railroad that ran across there, and there was a bridge. And to get back in that pond at H, you go through like just a creek size channel. Inside that creek side channel was a couple of stumps. I knew the stumps were there. Waiting for Kenny. All I'm doing is just like can't wait for him to come. You know what I mean? And so we go fishing today. I tie on bubble gum fluke right inside that. Throw it in there. Shallow water. All I'm doing is like waiting for his truck. June, woof, it's a 4.5 pounder. Holy shit! And friggin', I've been fishing for a week. You know, this temperature's friggin' cold. Can't remember exactly what the temperature was. At 45, mid 40s. Definitely not to 50. Probably not even to 48. Yeah, so holy, yeah, it's like there we go. You know, same friggin' stump. Another one almost the same size. Now I'm fucking. It's like this is now we're getting to something. You know what I mean? I'm out there throwing spoonbills. You know what I mean? And not, I didn't get back to back cast and catch those fish on anything. So, we play around with it and catch fish, but we're still using the jerk baits and whatever. But, this is always in my mind. But this tournament starts and I ran into him at H. And we're not back in that pond. We're out into H. And his partner saw that he had a fluke tied on, so he ties a fluke on. And I don't know, a couple hours into this tournament, I may or may not have had any fish, nothing exciting. Come around and I said, "Hey Ken, how's it going?" He said, "Well, guy in the back here just friggin' boated, friggin' 4.5 on that fluke." I'm like, "Cool." You know what I mean? I haven't had much success on it yet, but that's incentive. He goes, "It's on the bottom." I'm like, "What?" He says, "Yes, it's on the bottom." He said, "He's dragging it on the bottom." He said, "We're in 20 feet of water." I'm not, freaking give it a whirl here, but I'm not sure I want, I just 2 days ago caught 8 pounds and 2 casts and a foot of water. Don't know if I'm willing to fucking just immediately start dragging the friggin' fluke at 20, but it gave me an idea right away, and I put lead strip on the hook because, fluke without any kind of weight.
Yeah, definitely slow.
You're watching it though, you have to, whatever. So I put this on, and within the next hour, I was fishing this in deep water, away from the shoreline, and I would present it right away. As soon as it would hit the water, I would present it right away. Jump, jump, back and forth. And I hope the sound effects help.
Yeah, I want to hear sound effects.
But got the thing to go back and forth, and I would just dead stick it. Well, you dead stick that with this weight on there, and then it'll go like that and twirl.
Corkscrew down.
Corkscrew down. I don't have live scope, but I figured out within the first 2 or 3 fish that I need to fish offshore and parallel these shorelines. I'm getting away from the bank. I'm sure there's a fish on a stump here somewhere. Now I'm after quality and quantity. I just, it didn't matter. I can't remember if it was 3 days or 2 days. 2 days. It's a 2-day tournament. Yes, it was a 2-day tournament. Because it was a Friday, Saturday tournament, and then Sunday BJ had his big tournament. That's what this was. So Friday and Saturday, I'm 3 hours into this tournament with maybe one fish. Started doing this. I'm 4 hours into this friggin' first day tournament. I got a limit. And it had to be 15 inches at the time. I got a limit of 15 inches. How happy could you be?
Yeah.
And I'm using this thing I never did before. But it didn't matter where, and I stuck around that H. James Creek, Broomball area. Why am I traveling far? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I'd stuck around there. Well, some people go slower than others. My partner that day, refused to use the friggin' fluke. Whatever, it was just whatever. We got about an hour to go. And I said, there's a pack of them. I didn't give them the weighted hook. I mean, I can lead you to the water. I'm not telling you it tastes better after this breath of filter, Yeah. But, and I watched him cast, and the thing hit a leaf. And as soon as I saw it, and he doesn't have weight in his hook, In my mind, all I want to go to, hopefully I get a good one. I just want to weigh my fish now. Engine works good. Everything's fine here. But I saw this lure hit this leaf on the surface. And I turned my head, to pay attention to what I'm doing, and then hear him going, oh! And turned around. He's got a 6-pounder on.
On the top now.
I'm telling you, I saw this lure at the leaf. It landed in the water. I saw it at the leaf. I didn't see him catch a fish, but I turned my head to pay attention to what I'm doing and, hear him go, oof! It's the only fish he caught is a lunker of the day. Next day, now I got 8 hours to do what I found out I could do the day before in 4. And it was smoke on here. So, another limit of 15 inches, another partner that you can lead to water, almost same thing as the day before with a different guy. And he had a bundle of lures by his tackle box in the bottom of my boat. You're not catching them, so you keep on doing it. You don't put them back, so you throw them. He had a bundle of lures at his feet like this, refusing to. Anyways, can I have one of them? Sure, it's like a back lane, I told you. Catches the lunker of the day.
Oh, man. 2 days in a row.
2 days in a row, my partners catch lunker of the day. I ended up coming in second, possible third at the most. Definitely caught more fish than anybody. There was no one in that tournament that caught as many fish that I did. But it was an exciting time. So this is me. I feel that I had to get this lure to do a rhythm of back and forth, and back and forth. If I threw one of these things in the water and jerked it and it went right, or left,
redo the nose.
I ended up figuring out how I could get them to go back and forth, and one of them is if you're using this kind of rigging here, whether you're using this kind or the typical Texas rig, you don't want much of this nose. You want a lot of this nose not hooked to nothing. And it gives it more flexibility. Whatever it does, it helps you go back and forth. Then skin hook it. But the weight enabled you to do both. You could, if you were catching them on the surface and you got it to go back and forth, and you were catching fish with it, that's what I would do. If I was going back and forth for any little period of time, wasn't getting bit, had a perception that there's got to be fish right here, I'd put it on the surface, make it go back and forth, and then just kill it.
That's how you get it the most.
And then that really, the quality and the quantity, that's where it came from.
So that weighted hook.
That weighted hook.
That's the deal.
I couldn't have done it without it. And I tried through the years of, pinching a split shot on here and doing different things. And I don't know, it just always came back to this weighted part. But not only the bass tournaments, but my favorite was the striper tournaments. It was like to me in my mind, the damn fish is bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fish is more exciting. The fight's more exciting, harder to catch most times. I mean, you ran into the good days, but when you got into those tournaments, that's where most people can catch bass. Try to catch stripers on a lure in a tournament.
Yeah.
Where you have to I mean, there's no, well, you have bait or lures, but, you put out 6 or 8 baits and throwing them along increases your chances unless you have some knowledge of lures. And I'd know knowledge of lures for the stripers, and I loved doing it. I mean, there was a point in time that I would like seine suckers or get suckers or go catch fall fish and have a sucker or fall fish behind me or exclusively do that, and then swore I'd never go without it. You know what I mean?
Or you catch a couple big ones doing it that way.
But I found out down in the lower end of the lake, in that clear water, you threw this fluke in the known striper zones, and I swear those things have a place that they eat or they gather to eat, whatever it is. I just noticed through time, I'm going down the shoreline and I catch stripers here 5 times and nothing from here down. Whack! And I'm fishing right there.
Yeah.
And
spot.
I'm going to fish. I'm not just going to make 1 or 2 casts. I'm going to make some casts to that spot before I move on.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened with this thing. I knew down around the dam, below 2, below 3 actually, there was different spots that those things ate at. I believe, no, you can't, you couldn't possibly tell me any different. And I know this, they got fins, they swim, they're going to go from here to there. But the amount of times I caught them in rock or beside it, whatever, the street, I'm fishing those things. And I would go down, especially the dam. And it's hard to conceive because if you look down that dam, everything looks the same. That chunk of rock from here, however, is it 200-300 yards, however long that dam is below the spillway, that chunk of rock looks all the same. But there was there were spots here, there, 4, maybe 5.
Some spots.
There was spots there going back and forth. Oh, there's another one right in front of that same, you know what I mean? Well, the tournament rolls around. I know I can throw this as close as I can, stay outside the buoys. At the time, you weren't allowed, there's a distance. But I would use 8-pound test and a light reel so I could get that lure long cast. You know how you get, I just love this setup. Spool back up.
Yeah.
When that happened, I lost 5. I lost 5 that I had to re-spool in those 3 days. But I went from mile marker 10, didn't get below 6. Yeah, I didn't go below 6, and I didn't go above 10. And points and just visualizing and seeing fish surface. Caught 12 fish.
Time of year is this?
This was in October.
October. Well, Michael, I appreciate the info. You spilled the beans.
I'm glad you showed up, and you get to a certain age and you want to give back, because there were gentlemen my age when I was your age, and they said, hey, maybe you want to do this, or maybe you want to try that, or
right.
And once those tournaments started, whether it was small or big or wherever I was, I like talking to people and getting information, but it was someone, and they said, avoid dock talk at all costs. You know what I mean? Whatever professional I've read, watched, whatever he said. And if I was in a tournament, whether it was small or big, and I had freaking ideas of what I wanted to do, I didn't want to hear anyone else.
Yeah.
I didn't even want your idea in my head.
Yeah, I feel you.
And sometimes I'm sure that hurt, but
that happens a lot.
But still, I'm doing my.
You get it in your head
I'm doing my thing.
People are catching them on this,
yeah.
so you must not be around fish. There
was one. You're catching fucking 10, 12 pounds or whatever you're catching, and all of a sudden was over. You caught 19 all week long. And you're like, should I abandon what I'm doing?
Yeah, he was throwing a chatterbait, tying 3 different weights of chatterbaits on. Especially if it's something that's not really your thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like we're catching them on glide baits. Like, oh my god, if you don't even. What are you doing? This go back to throw on your Cinco.
Glide baits are good.
Oh, I'm with you there, but they're not for everybody though.
Nope, they're not. You gotta you have to use the right stuff there too.
Yeah, if you don't have the right rods,
fishing's fun.
It's foolish fun.
It's like a big chess game. It's better.
It is. There's always 1,000 variables.
Like playing chess, but never had a friggin' rook like rip me in the water.
Right? Never broke off a pond before. All right, man.
Or catching a pond.
Yeah.
You need one fish in the next 10 minutes.
Right? Better that one spot for handy to check in.
You just know all I need is one. I don't care. It's a 12-inch limit. I don't care if I have to friggin' squeeze another friggin' fraction of an inch out of that thing. You catch that pond and you feel like friggin' glorious.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're like, all right, okay.
There's a limit.
That's the one.
I know that's money.
Right?
I know without that guy, these other ones don't fucking count.
Right?
According to the scale.
Yeah.
That feeling is like.
Oh, there's nothing like it, man. That's why we do this.
That is why
For
we
sure.
do it. Yeah.
We'll come back.
I'll
You
try
want
it.
us to come back and do another one?
I'll try to clean the place up a little bit first.
We'll bust out a couple more lures. I'm sure he's used a couple more. But
There might be,
hey,
there
like
might,
and subscribe.
there might be one or two more lures here.
Hey,
Yeah. Follow the videos.
yeah, follow the videos, would you?